So far in 2015, close games have not been kind to the green and gold. But last night, the baseball gods showed them some love.
Rory hits it high in the air, left field. Gardner's at the wall, and that baby's gone. And we are tied at 3. Here's the pitch. Whoa, and he walked in the run.
Tonight, a Sonny Gray tries to tame the Bronx Bombers. The A's take on the Yankees in Game 2 right now. We are at the O.K. Coliseum for Game 2 of this 4-game series. Big win last night for the A's, and tonight they will send their ace to the mound, Sonny Gray, and Sonny will be opposed by the veteran left-hander Chris Capuano. So it should be a nice crowd on a Friday night here in Oakland. It's the Yankees, and it's the Athletics, and it's coming up on Comcast Sportsnet, California. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Oakland A's Baseball. Along with Ray Fosse, I'm Glenn Kuiper. One of the bright spots for the A's recently has been the play of Billy Burns. And Ray, with Coco out, and it's going to be a while with Coco, Billy Burns is getting an opportunity, and he's really coming through. How about batting right-handed? That's where he's really excelled.
Switch hitter. He hits left-handed, hits with power, but right-handed, you're right. Wednesday afternoon, almost tied the game with a home run. It was a double off the wall, but his speed is outstanding. He's also showing the pop of his bat. How about last night, a breaking ball from CC Sabathia, deposited in left field. Second home runs this week. One for the left, one for the right. So Billy Burns doing the job, but the speed is the one thing that he can offer more than anything.
And let's hope Sonny Gray is okay. Remember his last start down in Florida, he got hit with a line drive in the ankle. Seems to be okay, but we'll keep a close eye on him tonight.
That's a great thing about a 5-man rotation. You get a little bit of extra rest because of that. But Sonny Gray at the top of his game, and what happened on Sunday, he went to 5. You can see very quickly Bob Melvin took him out so he could rest. The A's got the win, but he's an outstanding pitcher. The one thing we can look for is a pitch that not another teams look at, and that is a slider. He throws it hard. It looks like a splitter. It goes straight down, but it is a good slider.
So Sonny Gray looking for his 6th win. He'll be opposed by the left-hander Chris Capuano, who's making just his 3rd big league start. There was another big home run in last night's game. Outside of Billy Burns, it was by Brett Lawrie, his 3rd of the year. That tied the game, and the A's would go on to win it. So Lawrie and the A's getting set to take on the New York Yankees. We'll have lineups and first pitch from the O.K. when we come back.
Mania is brought to you by Jack in the Box. Try the new legendary Buttery Jack from Jack in the Box today. By Toyota, #1 in MPG, durability, and resale value. Toyota, let's go places. And by DraftKings.com. Play daily fantasy baseball for free on DraftKings.com with the official daily fantasy partner of Major League Baseball. Enter promo code SLIDER for free entry.
Gold tops tonight for Sonny Gray and the Athletics. They're trying to make it 2 in a row over the Yankees. A very nice 5-4 win last night in Game 1 of the series. And the A's send their ace Gray to the mound tonight. Game time weather presented by the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk. Get to the beach. The admission-free boardwalk is now open daily. 58 degrees. And the breeze is at 18 miles an hour. So, seems like every night game, it's just about the same, Ray. Cool and breezy so far this season.
Both of them, exactly, and neither one help because the coolness is aided by the wind, which makes it even cooler, but still nice. If you win, it warms it up nicely. That's the big thing.
Here's the lineup tonight for the New York Yankees. Brett Gardner will lead off and play left field. Chase Headley at third. Alex Rodriguez will bat third and DH. Brian McCann in the cleanup spot tonight. Carlos Beltran in right. Garrett Jones plays first. Teixeira gets the night off. Stephen Drew is at second. Chris Young is the center fielder. And Didi Gregorius is the shortstop.
Sonny Gray looking for win number 6. A shorted outing in his last one. That was against Tampa Bay after he took one off the ankle. But he is back. Picked up his 5th win with a 177 earned run average. Only his 2nd career start against these Yankees. And did not fare very well in the early part of the game against the Yankees last year in his only start, but finished off very strongly, and he'd like to start well, finish strong, and pick up another win, his 2nd against the Yankees in this series.
Here's the A's defense. Canna, Burns, and Reddick in the outfield. Laurie, Simeon, Zobrist, and Vogt on the infield, and Fegley is your catcher. So we're set for baseball. Stephen Vogt at first base again tonight. So A's facing another left-hander, so Bob Melvin with the win last night, why change it?
That's right.
So Gardner's ready, so is Sonny Gray, and we're set for baseball here at the Coliseum. Crowd still filing in on a Friday night. And Sonny's ready, and here's the first pitch of the ball game, and it's down and in to Brett Gardner. Gardner hitting .288, 4 home runs and 20 RBIs. He had a big night last night. He was 3 for 5 with a double, an RBI, and a run scored. He had that run-scoring double in the 9th inning. And he was stranded at second base when the game ended. There's your umpires. Mike Estabrook calling balls and strikes, and the crew chief is the veteran Dana DeMuth. And DeMuth is right there. He's at first base. 2-0 to Gardner. And that one's low, 3-0. So, Ray, the ankle that Sonny Gray got hit, it was kind of right above the ankle. It was his right ankle, which is kind of the push-off leg. 3-0 pitch. That one in there for a strike.
Well, he had a chance to pitch between starts, his normal bullpen work, and, of course, warm up. So I don't think there's any issues. I don't know that he would even be pitching if there was a concern about his ankle bothering him.
And a close pitch, called the ball, and Gardner has a leadoff walk. So it didn't miss by a whole lot.
Might even been a strike. Unfortunately, popped out of the catcher's mitt.
Batting in the second position.
Sometimes umpires will say, you can't catch it, I can't call it. And it was close enough, but Fegley unfortunately dropped the ball, not giving Mr. Brook a chance to make a possible strike call.
So here's Chase Headley, switch hitter. Headley hitting at .251, 6 home runs, 22 RBIs. He takes a strike.
Strong believer in what pitchers say, that the 3 important innings, 1st, 5th, and 9th, of course, the first to get off to a good start. Anytime a pitcher struggles in the first inning, he just wants to regroup and get everything working well so he can settle down and pitch his normal game. Sonny Gray is that type of pitcher.
Outside to Headley. Gray with the best DRA in the American League. And if he struggles, it's early in the game. And he seems to always settle down. Jam shot, flipped down the left field line, but foul. Cannot quite get it. Sonny Gray is 8th in the league in innings pitched. He's 9th in the league in strikeouts, and as we said, the best ERA in the league. He's given up just 2 home runs in 66 innings. So he's having an all-star season so far. So 1-2 to Headley with Alex Rodriguez waiting in the on-deck circle. Curve and a dandy. And Headley says, yeah, that was a strike. And he spins around, heads back to the dugout. Watch this breaking ball.
That's a deep buckler right over the top. Not a bad curveball when you throw it for the first time with that kind of bite. Frees a hitter with 2 strikes. And that's impressive.
Lowest ERA through 10 starts in the designated hitter era. Heron in 07, Mike Norris back in 1980, and Sonny Gray this year. So 1 out. Here's Alex Rodriguez. Swing and a miss by Rodriguez, who's hitting .277.
Dan
got
Heron,
11 home runs and 27 RBIs.
I was going to say Dan Heron's still pitching.
Yes, he is. And he's pitching well for the Marlins.
He's reluctant to go to the Marlins. They might be one of the highlights of their season, his pitching. Change of managers.
Tapped foul, and Sonny Gray ahead of Alex Rodriguez, 0-2. Rodriguez has 9 doubles this year. He's got a triple. So the slugging percentage, pretty good on-base percentage of .372. So he seems to be liking that designated hitter spot.
As Joe Girardi, his manager, I said, will he play other position? He said, I played him at first for an inning. He said, but he's probably going to be the DH.
Grounded towards Simeon. He's got it out at second. Zobrist on the turn, and that's a double play. 6-4-3 double play. So here come the A's in the bottom of the first. The Oakland Athletics. Talked about Billy Burns in the open of our show. He'll lead off and play center field, and Simeon at short, Zobrist at second. Butler's the DH. Stephen Vogt will play first. Laurie, the big home run last night, he'll hit 6th and play third base. And it's Reddick, Fegley, and Canna.
Another lefty for the Yankees facing the Athletics tonight. Chris Capuano making just the 3rd start for the Yankees. He's 0-2 with an inflated earned run average. Of course, Tanaka's expected to return to the rotation next Wednesday. Capuano faced the Athletics as a member of the Mets way back in 2011. Other than that, just a couple of appearances out of the bullpen. Does not throw hard, tops out about 90 miles per hour, but has an assortment of pitches that he will use at any time to try to get out hitters.
So Burns steps in. And Capuano's first pitch, and Burns hits a high fly ball to shallow right. Beltran comes in, he's under it. So Billy Burns going after that first pitch. Flies out tonight, and that's one out here in the first inning. So that'll bring up Marcus Semien.
Shortstop, number 10, Marcus Semien.
Defensively for the Yankees, Gardner, Young, and Beltran in the outfield. Headley, Gregorius, Drew, and Jones on the infield. And Brian McCann is your catcher. So again, Mark Teixeira getting the night off.
Just thinking, if you don't throw hard as a pitcher, one thing you have to do is use both sides of the plate, use all of your pitches. Not surprised the first one to Burns was a fastball location inside. And that's what Capuano will do with McCann throughout this game.
Cut fastball there for a strike. So 1-1 the count. 285 the average for Marcus Semien. 6 home runs and 15 RBIs. Off the foot of Semien. A's come in with an 18-32 record. Starting to play a little bit better. They won 4 out of their last 6. See, that one looked like it was above the foot. So game number 51 for the Athletics as the A's are closing in on the 1/3 point of their schedule. Hit high in the air, shallow left. And Gardner is under it, and Gardner has it. 2 outs.
And you will see a few of those, the fly balls, because you try to wait and wait, and when you wait sometimes a little bit too long, the tendency to quickly swing and get under a ball. And both Burns and Semien have done that, the first 2 hitters.
So with 2 outs, Zobrist steps in, batting right-handed. Zobrist 262. He's got a homer and 9 RBIs. And Capuano drops that first pitch breaking ball in for a strike. Capuano's been with a bunch of teams in his career. Arizona, Milwaukee, the Mets, the Dodgers, the Red Sox, and now the Yankees. So he's been around. Both the American League and the National League. In there for a strike, 88 miles an hour. Zobrist could not pull the trigger. Capuano now 36 years old. He re-signed with the Yankees. Got traded to the Yankees last year, and they decided to keep him. And a changeup at 78 miles an hour. Zobrist chased it, and Capuano has a 3-up, 3-down inning. No score after 1. A's and Yankees.
in your group will receive an A's replica batting practice pullover. For more information on available games or to book your group jersey day outing, call 510-638-GO-A's or visit athletics.com/jersey. Pullovers, those are good on a cool night. That way you can layer it.
That's right. Take it off, it gets a little too warm.
Yeah, I'd like to have one right now. This heavy one I would put on later, but right now, comfort.
Brian McCann swings at the first pitch, drives it to center. But Burns gets back, and so McCann swinging at the first pitch. He's retired. 1 out.
Batting in the fifth
Sonny
position.
Gray got the 6-4-3 double play to end the first inning after he walked the leadoff man Gardner. So here's Carlos Beltran. Beltran goes after the first pitch, so maybe that's the approach by this Yankee lineup, which is full of veteran hitters.
Well, they know he's going to be around the plate. He throws strikes. He's got a good fastball, 4-seam, 2-seam, and that curveball. I just think, Sonny Gray's pitching. He can look slightly to his left and see Sonny Gray's solar-powered gnome on June 20th. So every pitch he makes, he can say, "That's me.
That's me."
Yeah.
Zobrist out in right field, throws to first. So Zobrist about 10 to 15 feet onto the grass, and Beltran hit it hard, but right out.
Batting in the sixth position. First base.
There it is. That's what he gets to look at after he makes every pitch. And he follows through just to the left and looks at himself.
June 20th. Here's big Garrett Jones, power hitting first baseman. He pinch hit last night in the ninth inning. He walked and scored. He's got lots of power and came over in a pretty big trade with the Marlins. Yankees also got Nate Eovaldi, who hard-throwing right-hander, who we will see in this series. One pitch, swing and a miss. So an easy 94 miles an hour from Sonny Gray.
So a cut right at the end, down and in, and to the left-handers. It looked so good, but then they swing and it's disappeared into the catcher's mitt.
So Gray ahead in the count, 1-2, and swings at a pitch in the dirt. Does Jones throw to first? Both steps on the bag, side retired. So a 3-up, 3-down inning for Sonny Gray. He's got a couple of strikeouts as we go to the bottom of the second. California is brought to you by Real Strong Redwood. Visit realstrongredwood.com. Good looks inside the A's store. Feel like shopping during the game. Billy Butler to lead it off. First pitch is a strike at the knees from Capuano. Butler, Vogt, and Laurie here in the second inning. He's had 5 runs on 9 hits last night. A couple of home runs. Something we talked about during the pregame show is the fact that the A's used the long ball, a couple of important home runs last night, but late in the game when they really needed to, they were able to manufacture a couple of important runs that got them the lead. Down and into Butler. 259 for Billy Butler, 4 home runs, 24 RBIs.
As the deep this lineup goes for the Athletics, they'll be a little bit more familiar with the windup from Capuano, which is a little bit, it's not smooth, I guess you could say, a little jerky, and sometimes a little difficult for a hitter to pick that up out of a windup. Last 3 down low out of the strike zone, taken nicely by Billy Butler. Big sac fly last night, part of that manufacturing, and got a hanging breaking ball from Carpenter. Straightaway central.
3-1 pitch is line foul. Butler out in front.
Now just watch as he winds up. Watch where he gets right there and then drops the hand straight down. And that's the herky-jerky part that the hitters don't want to swing too quickly, especially if he pulls the string on an off-speed pitch.
Payoff pitch to Butler. Here it is. And it's a breaking ball that stays high, and the A's have a leadoff walk.
Well, as a hitter, you have to hold your breath and say, okay, what is Mike Estabrook going to do in a high strike? He's going to call it, or is it a ball? And that was the question of what the hitter.
21, Steven.
So the fastball and the slider. Boy, a lot of sliders.
See, that's the old sinker slider. Oh, no, by the way, a changeup, which means one thing. That's a bullpen pitcher. That's a relief pitcher, because typically out of the pen, you have time to get 2 pitches ready. Your fastball, your sinker, and your slider.
Well, the changeup, they're hitting 417 off it. So first pitch to Vogt. Slider for a strike. Vogt 317, 10 homers, 33 RBI. Vogt was 1 for 4 last night. Three infielders on the right side. Headley, the third baseman, playing what would be a shortstop playing in spot.
You know, if you have a pickoff move to first base on a runner who is not even dreaming about trying to steal, and you make a bad throw, that's bad.
Jones has it. He'll look to second, but take the sure out at first. So here's Brett Laurie.
CC Sabathia helped him, and Brett Laurie had the ball come right into his wheelhouse and unloaded. So after Billy Burns had hit his second major league home run, Brett Laurie, who was sitting on 2, said, got to add on. So he hit his third, fortunately, because that. And I think your theory was very well
What
taken.
was my theory?
And that is, home runs get you back in the game.
They do.
You know, and that helped. The A's were down 3-1. CC tried to make a good pitch, did not. Brett Laurie took advantage of the bad pitch, and 2-run home run. The A's tied it. So it is a good way to get back. I mean, just take a down 3-0 at one swing, a 3-run home run.
I think that's it's hard to get 3-4 hits in an inning.
Yeah.
Get yourself back in the game. But I think if you're a team that hits home runs, my point is through the course of a year, I think the home runs will help you come from behind more than they will maybe adding on. last night. Perfect example. That's in for a strike. 1-1 to Laurie. 3 home runs, 18 RBIs for the A's third baseman.
And the unlikeliest of home run hitters, Billy Burns hit one. And maybe that was enough to shake up CC Sabathia. And wait a minute, it's not supposed to hit home runs. And hit one Sunday, hit one last night, and got the A's on the board, and Laurie helped tie it.
Stride call. Laurie didn't agree. He's harping toward Estabrook just a little bit.
Well, lower part of the strike zone, and it went to the pitcher. And that's one of those you beat in the ground if you swing. And of course, that shot looked like it was at the knees, not where McCann caught it, but definitely across the plate at the knees.
So 1-2, and a slider coming in on the hands of Laurie, and he swings and misses. Second strikeout for Capilano.
Batting in the 7th position, right fielder, number 22.
That big stride by Brett Laurie, and then bringing the bat, just not able to catch up to a slider. And that reaction is about the second strike that was called.
Yep. So here's Reddick, first pitch, down and in, and Reddick rips it foul. Reddick hitting right at 300, 7 homers, 30 RBIs. 30 RBIs, 10th in the American League. Looking for a 2-out hit. Good swing there by Reddick. Fouls it straight back. Josh was 0 for 4 last night.
Standing inside with a fastball. He's trying to pull the hands in and maybe serve it to left field. Gardner playing shallow and playing him to hit the ball that way, even though on the ground they expect him to pull the ball. As you can see, 3 to the right side.
0-2 pitch. Fastball, a little off the plate. So Butler led off the inning with a walk. He's trying to get him home and take an early lead. Good take there. Capilano looked like a changeup.
We like to see hitters, and talked in our open about how hitters with a couple of strikes would try to be a little bit shorter and try to make contact. And you could take off-speed pitches and not be overly aggressive swinging at bad pitches, especially with 2 strikes if you shorten up.
Slider away. Another good take by Reddick. So Joshua at times this year has struggled against left-handers, but a good at-bat here.
Not trying to take the big long swing and recognizing pitches out of the strike zone and not offering at a pitcher's pitch. And they got first base open, right-handed hitter in the on-deck circle, left-handed hitter. Do you think you're going to get a good pitch? And this is where you have to be aggressive but patient as well.
And a slider, and it just missed off the plate. So very good at bat by Reddick.
This is as close and surprising, would not offer. Hesitated momentarily just to see what would be happening. Last night he felt a couple of pitches were not strikes that were called by Ed Hickox.
Sometimes, Ray, it's not watching at bat, and it's not how you hit it, but it's how you took the pitches.
Right.
That was good at bat.
That is a very good.
Here's Fegley, who chased the slider that was in the dirt. So Fegley just a little anxious.
It's after a 3-2 slider. Fegley said he's going to throw me a fastball, and I'm going to gear for it, be ready, and he dropped a curve in the dirt. Fortunately, he didn't make contact and hit it softly somewhere. At least you get a chance when you miss it badly like that.
Oh, 1 is hit into right field, a base hit. Here comes Beltran, and they're going to hold Butler, and there's a big turn at first, and oh man, Garrett Jones had an out at first base, and he didn't throw it there.
Wow.
A's get a huge break. Fegley took a big turn around first base, and that's all Jones had to do was to throw it to Drew, and he didn't.
He might have been surprised that Drew was there, but a base hit. Billy Butler had to be held, unfortunately. And the cut and look, running behind Fegley, and there he is, and he just could not let the ball go. Drew did his job as it was cut by Jones. Jones just flipped it to first, but he didn't do it, thankfully.
So the bases are loaded.
You know worse than that? 2-out base hit. You can't get it wrong. You know, that's just, it's unfortunate. That's a very good job of hitting by Fegley, and just could not get him to score.
So here's Canna.
So there's your hit with a runner in scoring position.
Right. Write it down.
Well, here's the part of the manufacturing and getting multiple hits with 2 outs, and that's always tough.
So Butler, Reddick, Fegley are the runners. And Canna hits one very high in the air. Playable for Gardner, who drifts back into left center field, and he's got it side retired. So the A's leave him loaded, and we're headed to the third. No score.
Will be the Sun and Gray Gnome. First 15,000 fans will receive the Sun and Gray solar-powered gnome. It's presented by Sungevity. Ball lights up from the built-in solar panels. We want to see it on the backdrop signage right there. Tickets are available at 877-493-BALL or go to athletics.com/tickets. Sunny Gray Gnome. Or Genome.
Gnome?
Right?
The Gnome. Stephen Drew leading it off. Drew, Young, and Gregorius. Bottom 3 for the Yankees. Yankees do not have a hit. They have had one base runner, and that base runner was erased. Double play. Slow start for Drew, just a 162 average, and he skies one. Zobrist, Vogt, Reddick, and they decide Reddick's the best option, and he makes the catch. So Reddick had to run a long ways, but he tracked it down. He navigates that right field foul territory very well here at the Coliseum.
Up high enough, long enough, and don't have to worry about the mounds in the bullpen area, and Josh Reddick can coast under it and kind of stop his momentum and make a nice play. Don't want to overrun a ball like that. He handled it nicely.
1 out for Chris Young. Young was 0 for 3 with a walk last night, and he swings through a Sonny Gray fastball. Six home runs for Young, 13 RBIs. Chris Young's 1 year with the Athletics, 2013. He hit 200. He had 12 home runs, 40 RBIs in 107 games. Had 18 doubles. And that was really the first time in his career where he was a part-time player, and I think it was a struggle for him, right? Not only, you know, as far as what numbers he put up, but I think mentally it was a struggle for him as well.
Yeah, it's hard. If you're accustomed to playing every day, you don't even have to look at the lineup. You know you're going to be in there. You usually know where you're going to hit in the lineup, and all of a sudden you're kind of waiting to be told the night before, are you going to play or not? And you find out you're not, and it's hard to stay prepared. It's tough enough to play the game every day.
Simeon is under it, and he's got it. Now, in fairness to Chris Young, he never complained. Nope. And he played hard when he did play, and he had some big hits for the A's.
Batting ninth.
You'll never forget the curveball he hit for 3-run home run in Houston.
Still going.
Gregorius.
It's still going. So 2 outs for Gregorius. Gregorius, the 9th place hitter, 206, couple of home runs. Question with Gregorius is not whether he's going to catch the ball. He's very good defensively, but the question is how much will he hit? And when you're replacing Derek Jeter, you're probably going to want to hit a little bit. Don't be the guy who replaces the guy. Be the next guy.
Well, there will never be someone to replace
exactly
that guy.
right.
I mean, that's. And you can imagine Joe Girardi, the manager. He played with the core 4.
Yes, he did.
And then he just watched them all retire, and numbers are being retired. And of course, the last couple of years, Mariano Rivera and Derek Jeter.
Sonny Gray grabs it, and that's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Sonny Gray. Bottom of the 3rd coming up. It'll be Burns, Simeon, and Zobrist. No score.
Widget and more Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Bottom of the third, no score. Second time through the lineup for the left-hander Chris Capuano as he faces Burns, Simeon, and Zobrist. First pitch is a fastball on the outside corner for a strike. Capuano with a couple of walks and a couple of strikeouts. He's allowed one hit. Fastball is inside Burns.
I think your point well taken about Coco Crisp being out. Billy Burns getting a chance. Center field, leadoff hitter, switch hitter. And great opportunity for him, and even more so because, as he has told us, that how the game has changed, slowed down a little bit for him. Very fast last year. Worked hard. Came to spring training. Worked even harder. Had a tremendous spring offensively, swinging well from both sides and handling the center field job and doing a very good job. Almost had an assist last night on a throw to the plate with Alex Rodriguez.
Close pitch, and now 3-1.
But the good thing about what Billy Burns is doing is going to get better, because really this is his first full year of getting a chance to play every day. And he will get better and better in all aspects of the game.
And he rips one, headed for the left field corner. Gardner plays it off the wall, gets it back quickly, and Billy Burns with the leadoff double here in the third.
How about that at bat? Worked the count, and finally Capuano, look at this pitch right down the middle, 3-1. He waited. I mean, here's a power hitter now, all of a sudden being patient, just hitting a double. That is a good swing and a good start to the third inning with a leadoff double. But I think taking the pitches to get to the 3-1 and forcing Capuano to make a quality pitch. And that's that old theory about you walk him, it might be a double. You let him swing the bat, might be a home run, or in this case, a double.
Exmo brought to you by Cache Creek Casino Resort, and Simeon rolls it into left field, a base hit. Here comes Gardner. He picks it up, and they will stop Burns at third. The throw in is way offline. And Burns was held up, so first and third, nobody out.
But that's not a hit to the right side to advance the runner, but it's even better. It's a hit to the left side. Look at the hole on the left side. Off-speed pitch. Marcus Simeon with the third baseman playing evil with the bag. Billy Burns read it nicely. Mike Gallego wanted to send him, but realized that Brett Gardner was playing shallow, charged the ball well, and you take that hit anytime. And it's a first and third, nobody out. Could have been a ball to the right side. For one out, now the infield will play back, conceding a run if contact can be made by Zobrist.
Zobrist struck out in the first inning. And the first pitch is a strike to Zobrist. So 3 hits off Capuano now. And another scoring opportunity. A's left him loaded in the second. Quick throw to first. Keeps Simeon there. Simeon's been a good base stealer so far this year. Something to keep an eye on. He's 7 for 8 in steal attempts. Does not have a real big lead. But plenty of speed out there if Bob Melvin wanted to try something. Capuano's ready. Zobrist takes low, so the count even at 1-1 with Billy Butler waiting in the on-deck circle. Sonny Gray pitching, you always feel like you don't need a whole bunch of runs. One pitch is bounced foul, backhanded by Headley in foul territory. So now Zobrist behind in the count, 1-2.
Interesting on that ball that was hit hard and, of course, backhanded in foul territory, but Billy Burns was going back to third. And it's almost like, I mean, not going to turn two, but also probably wouldn't have thrown him out if he's getting a walking lead down third base, and that's always important as a third base runner. Start walking down and finish on the front foot, go forward or go backwards, depending if the ball's hit or not hit.
1-2 pitch, bounce to third, and it right through the legs of Headley. And Burns comes in to score, and the A's take a 1-0 lead. Well, he's going to get charged with an error, but if you watch this ball, it just leveled off. It was about to take a nice hop up to him, and it just stayed down and shot right between his legs.
Exactly right. And right there, they maybe hit the lip of the grass or hit something to keep the ball down, but right there is coming up, and look at it, just stays down, and he just tried to do anything possible to knock it down. See if it hit the lip right in front of him, and whatever it hit, it stayed down, and Billy Burns able to score. So yeah, fielder's choice, cannot assume a double play, so you get an RBI. But the error, it helps the A's to put a couple of runners on.
So 1-0, and here's Butler, still nobody out. Butler rips one to left field. It's headed for the wall, and it's off the wall. Simeon scores. Zobrist to third. He'll stop there. And the A's lead 2-0, and now they're looking for a big inning.
You know, as hard as that ball was hit by Billy Butler, and it was a little surprising that Brett Gardner, who's played left field, would not throw to second base, knowing who hit the ball. Because Billy Butler was just rounding first when the ball came off the wall, and he came up and threw to third base. But Billy Butler stayed back nicely, reached down, and just upper body strength pounded it to left field. Of course, one run was going to score easily, and going to third was going to be Zobrist, but ball comes back very hard, and you throw immediately to third base. Meanwhile, Butler coached into second. No chance of getting Zobrist going to third.
Now batting first baseman, 21, Stephen Vogt.
So here's Vogt. So 2 runs in. Double, single, air, double so far here in the bottom of the third. Vogt hits it hard, fair, down the right field line. That's going to bring home a pair. Stephen Vogt is digging for second, and he's going to stop there. 2-run double, and it's 4-0 A's.
Boy, now they really believe in Stephen Vogt. Trying to pull the ball to the right side and get one in, advance the other, and pull his hands in on the fastball. Got both of them in, but a very, very good swing just inside the line down first base, and no chance for Jones. And Stephen Vogt does it again, pulled the hands in, and 35 runs driven in for Stephen Vogt. That hit the umpire. Did not. He came close. Of course, it would have been a dead ball had it done that. But
and that one is blasted down the left field line. Foul. So Laurie got a pitch he liked on the first pitch he saw. He buggy whipped it.
It almost got there so fast they hit the foul pole, but just cutting in front right there, smoked it. Almost into the second deck. You see, they're waiting back second time through the order. They're waiting back very well on the off-speed pitch from Capuano.
Three doubles in the inning and action in the bullpen for the Yankees. Fastball inside, 1-1. Rogers won. Fastball just a bit high. So now it's 2-1. right field line. So a 4 spot so far for the A's. Capuano really slowing it down.
5 last time out for Sonny Gray. 3-run home run by Mark Canha. Tonight still hitting with 4 in already.
Kind of a, it's like a thick haze off in the distance. Not warm weather haze either.
Not a purple haze either.
No, I don't think so. Swing. Gonna miss. He struck him out. So Laurie strikes out for the 2nd time. That's first out here in the 3rd.
Well, after almost hitting a 2-run home run, fastball in, then the big breaking ball, and just that long stride by Brett Laurie, and it's frustrating to see the pitch and look like it's going to be a pitch that he can handle, and then swings right through it.
So Reddick steps in. Nice at bat in the 2nd inning. Ended up walking off Capuano. Slider well off the plate, taken by Reddick. Again, so Capuano has had trouble throwing strikes to Reddick.
I think the biggest thing is the fact that Reddick is seeing so many left-handed pitchers that he is being very calm at the plate. His approach is very calm, not trying to do too much. And with this shift, if anything, he's trying to hit the ball to the opposite field when they stay out there.
So 3-0, Capuano getting a little frustrated with himself. He's just being patient.
The teams across the bay that's doing that chop.
The Braves? The Braves. And Reddick takes a strike. So Reddick thought maybe it was a little high, but you know what? All right, now it's 3-1.
Now you know it.
Now I get to hit.
And he threw him a 3-2 slider his first at bat, walked him to load the bases. That's when Fegley got the base hit. So he could throw the slider again. He's shaken off, which means that pitcher and catcher aren't on the same page. McCann's thinking didn't want to walk him again to put a right-handed bat in the back of the batter's box.
3-1 pitch, hit hard right to 2nd. Drew has it, flips to 1st, and that's out number 2 with Vogt going to 3rd.
You know, we talk about manufacturing runs, fundamental baseball.
Now batting the catcher.
Just hypothetically, Laurie gets him over, infield plays in, that probably is a base hit.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, and that's just the difference if you have a runner in 3rd, 1 out, infield in, versus runner in 2nd, 1 out, infield back. And, you know, it changes everything. And just the little things of just giving up yourself for 90 feet. Brett Laurie was tried to hit the ball to the right side, but could not get it done.
So the first pitch to Fegley swings over top. Fegley had the base hit in the 2nd inning. It came with runners at 1st and 2nd, but Butler was held up, and he's ended up leaving the bases loaded in the 2nd. Fegley 1 for 1. Tried the same pitch. This time Fegley lays off. Astros and the White Sox are tied 3-3 in the 8th inning in Houston. The first place Astros. starting the series with the White Sox. Texas 7, Boston 4 in the 9th inning. Game down in Arlington. Fegley swings and misses. Josh Hamilton hit 2 home runs in that game. How about that?
They love it.
They do. So Rangers 3 outs away from a win over the Red Sox.
I can't believe the Red Sox. You keep saying over the Red Sox, over the Red Sox. You're struggling.
22 and 26.
It's hard to believe. See them next weekend at Fenway.
So now 2-2 the count. 27 pitches this inning for Chris Capilano.
Not much Joe Girardi can do except watch. That's about it.
Vote at third, and here's the 2-2 pitch. Inside, and it's a full count. Canada hoping to hit this inning. Fegley is the 8th man to bat for the A's here in the 3rd. Payoff pitch, and it's bounced toward Headley. Headley throws across in time. Side retired. A's score 4 times. They do it on 4 hits, 3 of them doubles. There was an error, and the A's grab a 4-0 lead after 3. With Sonny will face the top of the order. He walked Gardner to lead off the game, and since then he has retired 8 in a row, and that includes a double play in the first inning. So see how he does with the shutdown inning opportunity. 16 for 18 this year. Sonny making his 11th start of the year, looking for his 6th win.
I mentioned Sonny Gray, 1 start against the Yankees last year. Struggled early, but settled down. I think he retired the last 15 he faced, but it was the early part of the game. But tonight, he has been outstanding early.
First pitch to Gardner is in for a strike.
You start the season and you go almost a no-hitter, in your opening night start. Kind of bodes well for a pretty good season.
Start,
for him. He was perfect in April. A couple of losses in May. Not as much run support.
Gardner shows bunt, pitches low, called the ball, 1-1. Headley to follow, and then Alex Rodriguez here in the top of the 4th inning. Fouled straight back, high fastball. So Sonny Gray jumps ahead 1-2. So Rodriguez trying to keep warm. It is another chilly night. He's looking for their first hit. Inside with a fastball, 95 miles an hour.
You mentioned about Alex Rodriguez trying to stay loose. Normally he would not have to be staying loose because he'd be playing third or short when he first came up, but he'd be in the field. But when you're DHing only, that means you're sitting around waiting. You hit and you wait 8 batters and you hit again.
And a 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Strikeout number 3 for Sonny Gray. And that gets us to our McDonald's True Stories. They call up the Yankees Core 4. There they are. Jorge Posada, 275 career home runs. Andy Pettit, Yankees all-time leader in strikeouts. Of course, the great Mariano Rivera, 652 career saves. And last but not least, Derek Jeter, Yankees all-time hits leader. And that's what they did together. 5 World Series championships, 4.
And you probably will never ever see that again in baseball. That's probably the last time you'll see 4. The core 4. And you know, their manager Joe Girardi played with them, managed them, and now he will see them in old-timers games. Be a part of it. But of course Mariano will go first ballot Hall of Fame, as will Derek Jeter.
Well, the 5 they won, 96, 98, 99, 2000, and then 2009. 96, Jeter was no work.
That's right. In 2001 against the Diamondbacks, they were a hit away, and that was it. Luis Gonzalez with the game winner in Arizona.
0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Sonny Gray with strikeout number 4.
There's that hard slider. Watch this ball go down. It's like a splinter, but y'all, those that like the curveball, but it's thrown so hard that a hitter cannot make an adjustment and hold up a swing. And so there's your hard slider in the dirt and a swing and a miss. I was thinking of Andy Pettit, and we talked about him when we were in New York and he was pitching. Had he not gone to Houston, which was home for him, he would have been the all-time winningest left-hander for the Yankees. Whitey Ford still has that distinction, but Ford stayed there his entire career. Pettit did leave. Ford didn't have a choice. He had to stay with the Yankees during that time, but Pettit went home for a while, and the encouragement of Roger Clemens went back to New York and continued a great career.
1-0 to Alex Rodriguez, who hit into a double play in the first. With a couple of the shocking, I don't want to say shocking, but the Yankees got lots of money. Payroll is always first or second in baseball, but they have just one World Series appearance in the last 11 years. Amazing. And that was 2009, which they won.
And their manager was the current manager, Joe Girardi, whose first year was 2008. At the time, he wore number 27. Now he wears 28, looking for World Series number 28.
What a pick by Stephen Vogt, and he kept his foot on the bag. He's pretty darn good over there at first, Stephen Vogt. So a 3-up, 3-down inning with a couple of strikeouts and a nice play from your first baseman. So the A's off to a good start with a 4-0 lead over Chris Capuano and the Yankees. Capuano gave up 4 runs and 4 hits last inning. And now he'll face Canha, Burns, and Simeon. Canha hit a fly ball to left field in the first. We're already talking a little bit more about the Yankees and their World Series history and the fact that just one World Series title in the last 14 years. And as I said, one World Series appearance in the last 11 years. That does not sit well. But what I do think it says is there's just a lot more parity in Major League Baseball in the last maybe 7-8 years. It started slowly, and now I think it's very evident. Canha with a shot to left. Gardner on a slide makes a nice play. So 1 out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Hey, if you're looking for the best coverage of Oakland A's baseball, log on to CSNCalifornia.com as our A's insider Joe Stiglitz provides wire-to-wire reporting of the A's 2015 season with breaking news, video, special features, and more only on CSNCalifornia.com. Top of the order, and Billy Burns. Burns got last inning started with a leadoff double, and then he scored. Well, Billy Burns continues to do good things in the absence of Coco Crisp. Burns with 2 hits last night, so 3 hits now in the series. And he lines one foul.
If you think about the number of players who start a regular Major League season, there are 30 teams, 750 players total. But at the beginning of the season, whenever you see the rosters and you see the disabled players on the disabled list, and you're 750, then you add another 7,500 maybe. Yeah. But it means that certain players are going to get opportunities. And you go to spring training, you show what you can do, you get a chance because of injuries, show even more what you can do, and then all of a sudden you've got a job. And now you have to work hard to keep the job because there are others like you who are hoping to get the chance, and when they do, they're going to hopefully has success. You look at the Rangers from last year with all the injuries and how many players got to come to the big leagues that maybe normally under circumstances, if guys were healthy, would never get the chance. Show what they can do. And there's always a team or teams that are looking for players. And I think just very simply, Billy Burns has said, give me the opportunity, showed it in spring, took advantage of it, and he continues to go.
Swings and misses there, and that's the 2nd out here in the 4th. No, and you wonder how much the success of spring training helped Billy Burns with what he's doing now.
And that guy is the top of the list. Stephen Vogt, who was 0 for Tampa Bay. Actually got his first hit at St. Petersburg at Tropicana Field when the A's were just there over the weekend. And we know what he's done here. I mean, he's definitely the leader on this club, but it took him coming to the A's to finally get an opportunity to play. Showed that he could play, and now he's a fixture, whether behind the plate, first base, DH, whatever. But you're right about spring training. How many players have come over from the minor league camp to fill in? Some of the veterans take a couple of at-bats and then kind of open the eyes of a manager or coaching staff, so when something happens at the big league level, and they say, remember that guy who played that position, let's get him here, see what he can do.
Well, Billy Burns, I don't know the exact number, but he hit like 400.
Oh, this spring, everything, exactly.
Lefty here to right.
Lefty, righty speed, everything. He did it all.
Capuano, after a tough 3rd inning, settles in with a 3-up, 2-down 4th inning. We're headed to the 5th. 4-0 A's. Major League Baseball facing the infield shift. Teixeira is 6th, McCann is 7th, Beltran 14th, Stephen Drew is 15th. So that's how many times the opposition has shifted against those 4 Yankee hitters. So the Yankees get victimized by that shift. And interesting note about that, they have played the Rays 10 times this year. So 3 series against the Rays, and we just saw the Rays, and they shift more than anybody in all of baseball. So if you combine that with, quite frankly, Yankee hitters who you probably should shift for, well, there you go.
Add 1 to McCann's list. That's right. And add 1 to the A's list.
The shift is here to stay, folks. That would hit high in the air to right field. Reddick near the wall, turns around, and that one's gone. McCann is hot, and he's homered again. He's got 4 home runs in his last 4 games, and the Yankees are on the board.
And you normally would not see an 0-2 pitch hit that hard off Sonny Gray. And it's the 8th home run, just the 2nd on the road. The first one came last night, the other 6 at Yankee Stadium, which is not surprising. So no shift is going to stop that one.
So here's Beltran, who takes a fastball on the outside corner.
Well, as Joe Girardi again said, there's a reason the Yankees signed so many left-handed hitters. Because the short porch of right field, that ball would have been way out, and even last night might have been more hit for home runs.
Zobrist throws, and the shift got Beltran. Zobrist had to backhand that one, and when you're playing as far out on the grass as he was, you really don't have much time. You got to get rid of it.
It's just a breaking ball that hung up, and McCann unloaded. I mean, that's all his power. But the National Leaguer into the American League now and continue to do what he did for the Braves.
Garrett Jones, big swing and miss. McCann now 8 home runs and 32 RBIs. He's got his average up over 250. So off year last year, but looks more like the guy that was with the Braves this year. Offensive force when he was with Atlanta. So 0-2 to Garrett Jones, who struck out in the 2nd. Gets that one hard but foul.
Zobrist's very good range, and asked Eric Sogard, I said, you ever take ground balls on the grass? And he said, you have to with so many shifts. And there's a quick release, nice stretch by Stephen Vogt to get Beltran by a step. So Zobrist playing in the outfield as he's doing again right now for Jones, but not the shift. He's just playing in the grass.
Breaking ball in the dirt. It is different though, Ray,
yes,
fielding a ball off the grass as opposed to the dirt.
Absolutely. There is a different hop. Dirt is true. Grass can be slippery, can skid, can do a lot of things similar to what happened to Headley on the ball that was hit to left field or under his glove by Zobrist. And if you're into the outfield grass, it's just not a true hop like it would be on the dirt. Maybe you have to put longer cleats on if you're not going to be in the grass that much.
That's true. And I mean, listen, this ballpark this time of year, it's always a little damp.
And under sea level causes the moisture a little bit.
Swing and a miss. Strikeout number 5 for Sonny Gray.
It's amazing. He got one fastball. Jones did that bat. He pulled his foul, then right back to this pitch. Nasty, hard slider down and in, and no chance for Jones. That looks strike ends up a very, very good breaking ball down and in.
So 2 outs. As Sonny Gray has bounced back after the home run to get Beltran and Jones. And here's Stephen Drew. Fastball is high. Angels are leading the Tigers 1-0 in the 5th inning. Sanchez for Detroit, Santiago for the Angels. Angels won last night 12-2 over the Tigers. So a lot of offense last night. A little bit more of a pitcher's duel tonight. Getting 1-0 in the fifth. Angels leading the Tigers. Drew wants timeout. Indians and the Mariners are scoreless in the fifth up in Seattle. Bauer for Cleveland. Walker for the Mariners.
Corey Kluber.
13 strikeouts last night.
It's amazing.
I mean, that's hard to do. I mean, he struck out 18 a couple starts ago. I think he went 18 and 12 and now 13 his last 3 starts.
That was against Felix last night too, wasn't it, the Mariners?
Indians won that game 5-3. So Indians are playing better. They won 8 out of 10 trying to make a move in that AL Central.
No, that was Paxton because Brandon Moss
got hurt. Paxton left the game.
Yeah, but Paxton gave up a home run to Brandon Moss, a very tough lefty. Moss straightaway center field at safe cover. That's not an easy shot. That's a long way.
So 2-2 the count to Stephen Drew. Drew bounces it to Zobrist, scoops it, flips to first side, retired. Yankees are on the board. A home run by Brian McCann, his 8th of the year. So 4-1 A's after 4.5.
The Angels right here at the Coliseum. First pitch at 6:35 p.m. The second fireworks show of the season, of 6 for the season. Watch the show from the outfield grass. Of course, as we know, the on-field capacity is limited, so get your tickets early so you can get down on the field and watch another fantastic fireworks show here at the Coliseum. Go to ticketsandathletics.com/fireworks for those tickets and get them and enjoy another spectacular night of Pyro Spectacular here at the Coliseum.
A spectacular night of Pyro Spectacular.
That's it, baby. That's
boy,
it.
I tell you what.
It is spectacular. The Pyros.
1-1 to Ben Zobrist, leading it off here in the bottom of the 5th for the A's. Butler to follow and then Vogt. Zobrist a strikeout, and then he reached down an air, picked up an RBI, and scored a run in the 3rd. Headley grabs it, a couple steps to his left, throws, and that's the first down. So 1 away.
Well, you think after the 3rd inning, the A's are going to be scoring about 10 runs tonight, and all of a sudden the 4th spot, Stephen Vogt stranded, and Capuano after giving up the 2-run double to Vogt. Strikeout, ground out, line out, retired. 7 in a row. Same pitcher gave up 4 runs in the Rockets.
And there was action in the bullpen. He was close to getting taken out. Butler towards center. Chris Young is there, and Chris Young is. So 2 outs, and here's Stephen Vogt. This is what he did in the third.
This turns out to be one of the biggest hits of the night. And because that drove in 2 runs, the last 2 the A's have scored. And Stephen Vogt, that was a double, nobody out. He was at second. Could not get him over or get him in, and he was stranded. So the last hit Capuano's given up has been the man at the plate right now, lefty on lefty.
So Vogt now with 35 RBIs on the year. First pitch is a strike in the inside corner. It's a final in Arlington. The Rangers beat the Red Sox 7-4. As we mentioned, Josh Hamilton, a pair of home runs tonight. Gallardo got the win. Wright took the loss. Vogt fouls it back. And a nice play. We call that foul ball alley right there, Ray.
Yeah.
And there's a group of fans that sit there quite a bit, and they look for foul balls, and
he's a regular.
He is a regular.
Yes, he is. That's not his first foul ball of his career.
Well, they kind of patrol about 3 sections right in that walkway. So you're right. That's a regular occurrence, what just happened. Foul balls go there quite a bit, especially off the bat of left-handed hitters. So that young man stands ready.
Now I'll take 22. I got 23. I hit 24.
Keep going. Outside to Vogt.
One of the best times get in if you watch batting practice and the bleachers, man, because there's some batting practice thrown by coaches at a very, very good hitting speed, and there's some rockets that are sent into the seats during batting practice.
How about that base hit? And Headley will die for it, but he had no chance, and Stephen Vogt beats the shift.
Magic wand by that one right there. The shift, you pitch him outside, tomahawk it to left field, and Headley, why dive? He's not going to do anything anyway. It's going to be a base hit, but at least a very good effort by Headley after he had a ball stayed down, go between his legs. But Stephen Vogt, wand just hit the ball to the opposite field. Brett Lawrence said, how do you do that?
I want to be able to do that. Or he swings at a pitch in the dirt. Or a couple of strikeouts tonight. So the A's with a 4-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th. Rogers was up in the 3rd inning. Fastball low, 88 miles an hour.
Well, that number up there just shifted to 82. That's the reason there's bullpen activity, because it's 5th inning, and as we know, when that 80, 90 and the pitch count starts to get there, then there's a concern. There's time to start getting people loose.
Check swing, fouled. Still photographer's area.
Jonathan Kendall Graveman, of course, when he went back to Nashville and was sitting with Zito, they were charting in the stands. That's the old time where you'd have the pitcher the next day would sit in the stands and chart games. And of course, he said it's by computer, but you'd see guys that there's the street clothes and they got the big old chart marking down every pitch so they're getting ready for the next start. Now it's done Adam Road down the clubhouse.
So the guy pregame, get his workout in, whatever, and then take a shower, put his clothes on, and go sit in the stands.
Watch, stand behind the home plate, sit there and watch every pitch thrown. And there's a fastball that's outside, that a ball. You know. But I mean, that's the way it was before. And remember, Gaylord Perry did it one night in Kansas City.
So Laurie's retired. As ground ball to short's taken care of, and the A's do not score in the 5th. On to the 6th.
Baseball and softball season. Fields at Hayward High School and San Lorenzo Little League Complex were refurbished as part of the Energize Your Field program presented by PG&E. To nominate your field, go to athletics.com/energize your field. It's always a nice little gesture of the A's to help these fields get energized to the point of playing some good solid baseball. Future major leaguers coming out of those fields.
Chris Young to lead it off, followed by Gregorius and Gardner. Top of the 6th, 4-1. A's lead. Sonny Gray so far tonight. 7 groundouts, 3 flyouts, 5 strikeouts. He's allowed just 1 hit, and that was the McCann home run. He's walked 1, struck out 5. So sharp again, Sonny Gray. Remember his last start, he went just 5 innings after getting hit in the ankle. He did go back out there, pitch 1 more inning, and then came out after 5. He had a little limp going after the game. Seems to be fine now as he just made pitch number 59, so his pitch count is pretty good as well.
He only pitched down to the stretch in the 1st inning. Other than that, home run, the leadoff home run by McCann, that was last inning. Although he sets up almost out of the stretch. We saw David Price on Tuesday. His alum, well, they go at the same time. David Price and Sonny Gray, both the Vanderbilt, set up almost identical.
So it's going to be Sonny Gray who says, I got it. Everybody out of the way. I got it. So out number 1. 9th season of the CSN All-Star Teacher Program, recognizing teachers who make a difference. Visit csncalifornia.com and vote. The winner receives $20,000 for his or her school.
I bet in the course of a season, you won't find too many pitchers who have a 1. And this is a 1 foul. But this is the 2nd time. Remember, he caught the ball on the mound.
That's right.
He said, get out of the way. Let me take it. Everybody, okay, take it. You're an athlete. You can do it. And caught it. And how about tonight? Gets to it. Looks at his catcher. Not a problem. Got it. Done deal. So 2 for him this year.
That's right.
That might be an all-time record right there.
Usually it's like Just get the pitcher out of there.
Right.
Just get him away from the action, which I'm sure pitchers are not real fond of being treated that way.
But it's true. But Sonny, though, probably has got a good chance sometime in his career to win a Gold Glove.
Oh,
you know, he's that good athletically. Gets off the mound great.
Driven to right center. Burns on the move, and Burns has it sail over his head. Bounces up off the wall. Gregorius digging around second, but he'll stop there, and that's a one-out double for Didi Gregorius. That ball was hit well.
I think Billy Burns can look at this and say he probably should have caught it, because his speed, he got to the ball, and then maybe he got to the ball too quickly. But it was hit very hard, but it looked like even with the speed in right center, watch Billy Burns take off. I mean, it was hard hit, and he got there, and his angle, probably if he'd gone back at a better angle, he would have caught him. He went straight across and then had to jump up with the ball there. But then he started to go back right there, maybe just a tad late. And probably realized the ball was hit a little bit harder than what he thought.
So Gregorius with the double. That's just the second hit off Gray. And now the top of the order is Brett Gardner. And that one hits Fegley. And that'll allow Gregorius to go to third. It hit Fegley in the foot. Don't know if the pitch was in the dirt or not.
Yeah, it's in the dirt. He tried to backhand. It was thrown so hard out, spiked out in front, and put his glove down and backhand, hit in front of the plate. See how that stayed down? And I think it hit the home plate umpire's shin guard. No, maybe Fegley's back leg, but it did not bounce. It stayed down. Those wild pitch is a result of a very, very hard slider that's thrown in the dirt.
Fastball inside.
Yeah, see how it stays down. I think the right foot. I'm on the instep with the right foot.
So 2-0 to Gardner. Gardner has walked and he has struck out. Good pitch there in the inside corner. So middle infielders are back. Laurie's in on the grass. They're even with the grass. Vote about halfway. So a ground ball with middle infielders, and it'll be a run for the Yankees. Two-run pitch in the dirt. Fegley blocks it. Now it's 3-1. Headley to follow. Headley has struck out twice tonight. Gardner, a tough guy to strike out. Setting up inside, and here's the pitch. And it's fouled at the plate off of Gardner's foot, and he'll lift this one off. Gray, good fastball in the inside corner.
Yeah, straight down, little movement. Got the back foot, which is unusual.
That was a pretty direct shot. Watch.
Yeah.
Right on the toe, top of the toe.
Well, we've had a chance to see Sonny Gray pitched great since 2013, and John Flaherty, former catcher on the broadcast team for the Yankees, said it's amazing watching some of the film. And not only has a power fastball, but he moves the fastball, he sinks it. He's got a cutter. So yeah, a lot of different movement. I think Brett Gardner just felt one on the back foot. This is where he can throw so many different pitches, not just the 3-2 fastball.
And Gardner got a breaking ball, and he just barely got a piece of it. So they're playing in San Francisco, and they're playing here in Oakland. Happens a couple times a year. Both the A's and the Giants at home this weekend. Does happen occasionally with the Mets and the Yankees. Grounded toward short. Simeon charges. He's got it. He throws, and it is dug out by Vogt. Run scores. Gardner, I think, gets the RBI ground out. But another nice play by Vogt. So the throws are becoming a little adventurous with Marcus Semien.
I'll circle around nicely, and then it's short arm, but with the short arm, it's a sinker, and Stephen Vogt stays with it. And nice scoop.
Number 12, Chase Headley.
There's the concentration of the ball into the glove. Brought it back right in his left kneecap. Kept his foot on the bag.
So Gardner gets his 21st RBI, and it's 4-2. So this is Chase Headley. 2 outs now here in the top of the 6th. So it was 4-0 A's. Now it's 4-2.
Time to manufacture some runs.
That's right. Headley, as I said, couple of strikeouts. He taps this one toward Vogt. Side retired. So a run for the Yankees. We're going to the bottom of the 6th. A's 4, New York 2. And 15 years ago today, Ray, remember this?
Sure do.
The unassisted triple play by Randy Velarde at Yankee Stadium. That's Jorge Posada right there. Do not see that very often. Unassisted triple play 15 years ago on this date.
And you know the amazing thing about it? Bill King called it as if he knew it was going to happen. Seriously,
That it shouldn't surprise.
But I mean, a lot of times that happens, and you think, that's a triple play. You know, it's unassisted. But he was just boom, line drive, Velarde, they're on the roll, he tags him, triple play, inning over. You know, that's.
So he anticipated the triple play, which says a lot about how great he was.
That's exactly right. The brilliant one. And I'm sitting there going, you got to be kidding me. He just called that like he knew it was going to happen. I think it was Shane Spencer.
Shane Spencer hit it.
Hit the line drive, first and second, 3-2 on the move.
So bottom of the 6th, then Reddick to lead off. First pitch to Reddick, just a bit inside from Capuano, who has settled down after a crazy 3rd inning when he gave up the 4 runs. Capuano with 4 strikeouts. He's walked 2. Just a bit outside.
To the bullpen. He's getting so much work because every time pitch count gets close, and he may be in this game with the pitch count where it is now. 88.
One pitch, and Reddick lines one to left field. Gardner, they'll get a great jump. He plays a very good left field, and he makes the catch. promises before the game. That is Andre Ward, Oakland native. He's the super middleweight champion. Also a gold medal winner back in 2004. City of Oakland should be proud of Andre Ward. A big fight coming up in June. So I wouldn't mess with him.
Had his majestic jersey on tonight, though.
Yeah.
Your attention,
Didn't
please.
say May 29 on it.
Jersey night all around.
Coming into pitch for New York. Number
So we got a
53,
pitching change. Esmil Rogers coming in when it's time for change. Think speedy oil change and tune-up. It's your oil change, tune-up, and
Bullpen
brake
is brought
experts.
to you by Advantel Networks. For over 30 years.
Presented by authority of the Oakland Athletics and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Athletics Investment Group, LLC.
So the new pitcher is Esmil Rogers. A throwing right-hander who faces Fegley, one out. So 89 pitches for Chris Capuano, who, to his credit, he did a pretty good job settling in after a tough one inning. In the hole, Gregorius handles a tough hop and then cannot get a good grip on it, and Fegley will be aboard. He was going to come up throwing, and he was going to unload a fastball to first. He would have had a play.
Back in there's good. Got it hit with the glove, but as it came out, hot potato. Grab it. He could not. With this strong arm, probably had a pretty good chance to throw out Fegley, but never, ever had the baseball. And he caught it just enough time to throw it back to the pitcher.
So that'll be a hit for Fegley. Here's Cannon.
Well, something happened to Fegley. Let's hope he just rolled his ankle a little bit when he swung, and it's okay. You do not want something to happen to him. Names the two catchers. The other's playing first base tonight.
Sharp breaking ball. Canna takes it 2-0. Numbers for Esmil Rogers. He's bounced around quite a bit the last couple of years. His 15th appearance. 13 walks, 26 strikeouts in 29 innings.
That bracelet on his left wrist. Remember when Jesse Chavez had to remove his down in the 10th? He said it depends on the umpire. So evidently this umpire doesn't mind it.
That one is just foul. About a foot.
Fegley is still limping, and Mike Gallego perhaps noticing that as he rounded second, and that will determine whether he's overly aggressive trying to send him with the ball in the gap.
Cannon. Getting himself loose. Now he's ready. Defense straight away for Cannon. Well, there's a strike breaking ball. Rogers' career started with the Rockies. Then he went to Cleveland. Spent a little time in Toronto. Then the Yankees claimed him off waivers from the Blue Jays in July of last year. Sticking in the Yankees bullpen. Now full count. Burns to follow. Top of the order. Keep an eye on Fegley. He's limping a little bit. And the pitch is lined again down the left field line, and again foul.
I think Fegley that time running all the way to second base just to see if he can loosen up whatever is ailing him right now. So if it's not the groin or the quad that Ike Davis experienced, the left quad for him, although he is swinging the bat well in the cage and during batting practice. And that's the push-off leg for him.
Another 3-2, and it's a breaking ball, and it's skied towards shallow center. And Chris Young comes hustling it, and he makes the catch for the second out. So good battle there between Rogers and Canna, but Canna flies out.
Now batting
He's
center
0 for
fielder.
3, and now to the top of the order, and Billy Burns.
Billy Burns.
White Sox and the Astros are in extra innings. It's a 3-3 game in the 11th now in Houston. As we told you, the Rangers won. Angels with a 2-0 lead over Detroit in the 7th inning. Another home run for Albert Pujols, 10th of the year, and number 530 in his career. So the Angels getting good pitching from Hector Santiago tonight, shutting out the Tigers in the 7th. Headley in on the grass. Breaking ball for a strike to Billy Burns.
Well, this is what happened to Fegley with a ball that scooted watched the right foot as the ball stayed down and hit him in the right foot. But see, he has the padding on the left ankle, and actually over the left ankle.
And Burns swings at a pitch in the dirt. Quick throw to first, and they get Burns side retired. So a hit and a runner left for the A's, and we're going to the 7th. It's the Athletics 4, the Yankees 2.
down the right field line. That would play 2 runs. That was making it 4-0. Then Sonny Gray taking over. He did get up a home run, but strikeout after strikeout, doing a great job mixing his pitches. And so Sonny Gray into the 7th inning. Pitch count still very good as the A's lead 4-2 against the Yankees. The Yankees just a couple of hits, but they've been big ones to help them score their 2 runs.
7th inning, 4-2. And here's Alex Rodriguez. He'll be followed by Brian McCann and Carlos Beltran. So lots of power for Sonny Gray to face here in the 7th. Quiet night so far for Alex Rodriguez. First pitch is bounced foul. Rodriguez in last night's game had a sacrifice fly. Picked up career RBI number 1,996. That ties him with Barry Bonds for 2nd on the all-time RBI list behind Hank Aaron. Laurie's got it, drops it, picks it up, throws in time. So Rodriguez is 0 for 3.
Well, very nice pickup play by Brett Laurie as the ball hit hard in the middle of his glove, but plenty of time. Alex Rodriguez not. Remember the one time, the 40-40 stolen base threat, but not so much anymore. So plenty of time for Brett Laurie not to panic. Make sure he fouled the ball with the bare hand, and then plenty of time to get Rodriguez.
So 1 away. Here's Brian McCann. McCann is a red-hot hitter right now. He homered in the 5th. He's got 4 home runs last 4 games. Three hits last night. Hits another ball hard. Vogt on the backhand. He'll take it himself, and he'll beat McCann to the bag. 2 outs.
Anything Stephen Vogt cannot do.
No,
I mean, just unbelievable. His ability to field ground balls at first base, and of course the right field position last year. He did so well. This ball hit very hard by Brian McCann, a little backhand, and said to his pitcher, rest, take it easy, I got it myself.
Pretty soon he's going to want to go behind the plate and catch.
That's probably tomorrow night and Sunday.
So 1-0 to Carlos Beltran, who was grounded out twice to 2nd. Zobrist playing well out on the grass in shallow right field, and Beltran's hit a pair of balls right to him. Good pitch count.
Good numbers.
Number 80 coming up with 2 outs in the 7th inning. That's very good. 2-0 pitch is inside. Of course, that start we're talking about, his last one, when he went to 5 innings, just 67 pitches, so he's got a little extra. 3-0 pitch is in for a strike to Carlos Beltran. A shot, base hit, right center field. So that time Beltran got it through the shift. He's hit a couple balls hard, but nobody was going to get that one. So a 2-out single, and that'll bring up Garrett Jones.
Number 33.
That was hit very hard on the 3-1 pitch, so not surprised he was able to get a little bit extra. There's a shift with Beltran hitting it right between. The 2005 season for Carlos Beltran with the Astros.
Yeah, he was special. Wow. Got him a huge contract with the Mets.
Yeah. He had that buggy whip in his swing. I mean, everything he hit was hard and usually extra bases.
He's had a terrific career. Started with the Royals.
Yeah.
Does not have a World Series ring, though.
How about that?
So 1-1 as Jones chases a pitch down. This is where the Yankees are just scary enough because they have the ability to hit the ball out of the ballpark. 62 home runs this year, second most in the American League. Sonny Gray checks. Short lead for Beltran. So maybe a changeup. Not seen a lot of those from Sonny Gray.
No, it's a bad location. There was a hanger, whatever it was, soft up in the zone, and almost happy it was out of the strike zone. Probably will go back to what's been successful for him against Jones, and that's the hard slider down there. He's got him twice. Away with this one, though.
Zobrist, long way to go. Throws to first, and they got Garrett Jones. Ben Zobrist showing some range and a strong arm. Nice play by the A's second baseman. Seventh inning stretch coming up. A's 4, Yankees 2. Every time Sonny takes the hill, he leads 4-2. 7 innings and 88 pitches so far for Gray. So it's Simeon, Zobrist, and Butler against Ismael Rogers. And he scored all 4 of their runs in the third inning. Breaking ball, Simeon takes low. He's 1 for 3, singled and scored in that third inning. So 1-2 with a lefty, Jacob Lindgren. One of the 4 lefties that the Yankees have down there in their bullpen. Curveball and a good one, and Simeon strikes out. So 1 away here in the bottom of the 7th. Tomorrow night we'll be back with you. Our coverage starts at 6:30 with A's pregame live. Hard throwing Nathan Eovaldi against Jesse Hahn. Eovaldi 4-1, Hahn 2-4. Nathan Eovaldi pitched against the A's last year when he was with the Marlins.
Yep.
Started the game in that series. Very hard throw. Yep. One of the better fastballs in all of baseball.
About 97. Yeah. Will top out at that velocity.
Jesse Hahn doing a nice job for the A's this year.
I'd like to get another 15 ground ball outs as he did Monday. The first ever complete game for Jesse. studying these hitters tonight, as he will be facing them in the green and gold in back-to-back home starts Monday and Saturday.
On Sunday, it'll be Jesse Chavez and Adam Warren. Warren, a right-hander. And then the A's will travel on Monday to Detroit. 3 against the Tigers, and from Detroit to Boston. Two pitch setting up inside, and a late call, strike 3. Neil Rogers has 3 strikeouts, 3 of the 5 hitters he has faced.
Well, he's got a good fastball in addition to a whole bunch of other pitches, but this fastball located perfectly inside corner of Ben Zobrist. He thought a little bit low, and watching that, it might have been the side shot. It looked like over the top. It was a strike.
So with 2 outs, Butler will hit. Fastball outside, 94 miles an hour from Rogers. A's bullpen is quiet, so Sonny Gray will head out for the 8th inning. Billy Butler walked in the 2nd. Had an RBI double in the 3rd, later scored in that inning, and then hit a fly ball to center field in the 5th. Rogers in relief of Capuano, who went 5 in the 3rd. Rogers showing some pretty good stuff. See the velocity. We've seen that good, sharp breaking ball.
He's got a nice differential between his off-speed pitches and his fastball, and that is always the difference. If you can throw a good fastball located with good velocity, off-speed on top of it, it's a pretty good pitcher.
And that one fouled again, right side. A's with 7 hits in the game. Yankees with just 3. Yankees made it error in the 3rd. That's the only error in the game. And certainly helped the A's score 4 times in that inning. 1-2 pitch off the end of the bat. Stephen Drew ranging to his left. Side retired. So Ismael Rogers has a 3-up, 3-down inning, and we're headed to the 8th. 4-2 A's lead. At a whole new level with video walls from Prism. Learn how at Prism.com. chilly night again all around the Bay Area. But the A's are feeling all right. They're trying to make it 2 in a row over the Yankees. They lead 4-2, top of the 8th. Andy Perino comes in. He is the new shortstop, so Simeon is done for the night. Sonny Gray is not, as he faces Stephen Drew, Chris Young, and Didi Gregorius. Stephen Drew has hit a fly ball to right field, and he is grounded to second. So 0 for 6 in the series. That one hit hard, scooped up by Vogt, no problem, steps on the bag. So 1 out, and here's tonight's T-Mobile game changer.
There are 2 outs. Liriano ducks in. Ricky's got it. Pitches high. He stole it. The American League record for Ricky Henderson. 893.
May 29th, 1990, 25 years ago today. The great Greg Papa on the call.
This must be a big day for Randy Velarde, because he was at second on the unassisted triple play, and he was playing third for the Yankees when Matt Noakes tried to throw out Ricky that afternoon.
Randy Velarde.
He's everywhere.
Oh, what a play by Laurie. Gets up, throws, got him. Wow.
Oh, my. Think he's pumped? Chris Young can run. But Brett Laurie a play, and then talk about showing off a gun. Watch this. To his right, this is a great play. But watch this is even better. And Stephen Vogt, foot on the bag. His strong throw almost took him off the bag. What a tremendously strong arm for Brett Laurie. It's almost like saying, I got it now. I'm going to finish it.
Number 18, Didi Gregorius.
That is your defense in Major League Baseball right there. That is the difference.
So 2 outs, a spectacular play by Brett Laurie, and here's Didi Gregorius.
And that's a double. And then the Yankees have a runner in scoring position in a 4-2 game. So that's what the defensive play by Brett Laurie did.
1-0 to Gregorius, who doubled and scored in the 6th. Hit a long drive to right center field.
Started in the early part of the game with Sonny Gray kind of falling off a little bit awkwardly after delivering the pitch, and he just did it again, and this time taking a little bit more time as he got up on top of the mound. Something has happened in his follow through.
A little low, and now it's 3-0. Good look at the play here.
Well, just a headlong dive, left his feet, and the amazing thing, how much time he took, no rush, because he knows he has a strong arm, and spun the ball to get the good grip and uncorked a beauty.
So a 2-out walk to Gregorius. The A's bullpen has been quiet the entire game. That's the 2nd walk by Sonny Gray. He's now at 94 pitches.
Now batting.
First was Gardner to lead off the game on a 3-1 pitch. Ended up getting the double play. The bullpen Scribner last night, an inning and 2/3. He's got Emerson on the phone. You local from around here?
Yeah. You know what he said, don't you? Bullpen. It's just a little inside joke.
Scribner again. He was brilliant last night. Got the win in relief. 5 big outs.
First pitch to Gardner is foul back. If I were to call your house, you'd say Fosse residence, or
no? I'd say hello.
Kuiper residence.
If you're calling my house, you're knowing who you're calling. I don't have to say who's calling, right? Just say hello.
My point is,
yeah, I know what you're saying.
Going to say bullpen.
Yeah. And where are you, Emo?
Bullpen.
And a bullpen.
0-1 pitch. And that one a little bit low. So Headley would be next. So a big guy to get right here for Sonny Gray. One strikeout and ground out for the leadoff man for the Yankees. When everybody's healthy, the Yankees have Jacoby Ellsbury batting in that leadoff spot. I know there's times where they go Ellsbury and Gardner at the top, and that's a couple of table setters, but Ellsbury on the disabled list. 2-1 pitch, and that one's ripped to right, and that's a base hit. And Gregorius to second, stops there. 2 on, 2 out for Headley. So Scribner starts to move a little quicker now.
Decision. He's not made the call. It's the manager coming out, maybe to look at Sonny Gray to think, what do you have? His pitch count still okay? Just the mid-60s in his last start because of the ankle injury. He's going to stay. Just talk a little defense and a little encouragement and say, go get him.
So the quick meeting is over. And here's
Number 12,
Headley.
Chase Headley.
Headley was 1 for 5 last night. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Got a couple of strikeouts and a ground out tonight. First pitch, fastball, foul, straight back.
You think the manager went out and said, "I'll give you one more batter. Don't hold anything back."
Yeah, let it go.
And that first pitch, pretty good indication that he was not holding anything back.
Marino, the shortstop, playing right behind second base. 0-1 pitch, fastball, swing and a miss. So 0-2 to Chase Headley.
And he chased the fastball again. Both times a high fastball away from him. And almost like he does not want to throw anything down in the end to the left-hander, as those are the pitches that they like. Unless he throws a hard slider down in the dirt.
And that one's rolled toward Vogt. Vogt handles it, flips to Gray, side retired. Sonny Gray works out of the jam, and the Yankees strand a pair. The bottom of the 8th coming up. It's still 4-2. Hayes lead. All right, our game summary brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. 2-4-1 for the Yankees, 4-7-0 for the Athletics. All the A's runs came in the third inning. And for the Yankees, Brian McCann with a solo home run in the fifth. They picked up a run in the sixth. Sonny Gray, 8 innings, 101 pitches. Stephen Vogt, a big hit, 2-run double. That was the final 2 runs in that third inning. So another great outing for Sonny Gray. And he leads with a 4-2 lead.
The skipper smiling, got Sonny Gray smiling, and 2-run lead. Jacob Lindgren, another. You said 4 lefties. Well, you almost have to say a lefty because they have a whole bunch that they can bring in. And something for Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, Joe Girardi, and especially with a lefty like Stephen Vogt in the lineup, not surprised he's going to see another one.
First pitch to Vogt is high. That's the closer, Clippard, getting ready. Going to miss Lindgren, the lefty, made his major league debut on Monday. So he is new to the big leagues. Good pitch there with a fastball. So now the count 1-2 to Vogt. Wasn't that long ago that this young man, Lindgren, was pitching at a much different level. He was drafted by the Yankees last year. Went to Mississippi State, 2nd-round pick last year. Two-two pitch is fouled at the plate. Vogt just barely got a piece of it.
But I think this is a young man that Joe Girardi is talking about. I said, wait a minute, you got Kendall Graveman, Mississippi State, and this young man, Mississippi State. And there, I said, wait a minute, this guy's not that far removed from there. And so we saw Kendall Graveman, who was from Alabama, went to Mississippi State because his pitching coach went there.
So 2-2. So Vogt, it's never easy when you're seeing a young, hard thrower that you've never seen before. That certainly is the case with Jacob Lindgren. There's that slider, big sweeping slider. So full count with Laurie to follow, and then Reddick here in the bottom of the 8th. Roll foul. That breaking ball came in on Vogt.
I've been the play of the game right there. Brett Lohr in last inning, or top of this inning, with a diving play because the way the inning developed, a walk, a hit, and Brett Lohr robbed Chris Young of extra bases with his diving stop and a strong throw.
Bounce foul again. Garrett Jones, the first baseman, grabs it. Foul territory. Stephen Vogt gives you a good at bat, whether it's a right-handed pitcher or a left-handed pitcher. He really stays in there pretty good against lefties. And that one up and in, and he works the walk.
Yeah, here's tonight's Honda player of the game. Nobody but the one and only Sonny Gray, as he was once again outstanding for 8 innings. Good curveball working and the hard slider down and in. How about this one in the dirt? Blocked nicely by Fegley, but a strikeout, and got Gardner with a high slider. Another slider in the dirt. Slider, a very good pitch. Sonny Gray getting the handshake from the skipper and Mike Aldretti. And of course, I don't know if he now at the end of the dugout, but he was standing next to the skipper. But he's the Honda player of the game, very deserving, as he is looking for win number 6, trying to hang on. 8 solid innings for Sonny Gray.
So here's Laurie for his 4th at bat. He's 0 for 3. White Sox beat the Astros 6-3 in 11 innings.
It's got to be strange for the Astros to lose extra innings at home.
At home, yeah.
So many ways they can beat you, but the White Sox know that they can also do some damage, as he's found out just recently.
And the Astros now 30-19 with the loss. Oh, 2 to Laurie. And that one is belted to left field. Gardner's going back, and that baby's gone. It's 6-2. The A's lead on the Laurie 2-run homer.
Look at all the guys smiling in the dugout. Who knows what was said as he went through the tunnel.
Edgar picks it up, flips to first, so Reddick is retired.
Back-to-back games, 2-run home run, big one again, fastball, actually breaking ball. Slider inside, did not get it down where he wanted, and Brett Laurie caught up, brought the hands in, and crushed another one. So he makes a great defensive play, top of the inning to save extra bases, and then unloads another 2-run home run onto the steps. You know, when he goes through that tunnel, he's going to hurt somebody.
Oh, yeah.
If I were given the tunnel, I would back up. I'd just back up and say, you have your own tunnel, big boy. You just do it. When Anthony Rodriguez gets loose quickly, as Clifford was there. They're still smiling.
Theckley rolls.
He talking about flying through a tunnel. Caldecott has no chance.
Throw the helmet. He's yelling at O'Flaherty, who's on the DL. O'Flaherty's like, "What? I am on the DL. I didn't say anything." He may have yelled, "Get off the DL. Let's go." I think we got a one-of-a-kinder in Brett Laurie.
That's it.
So 1-2 to Theckley, who has had a good night, 2 for 3.
Well, you see Sonny Gray, who left the game after 8 with a 2-run lead. Now a lot of smiles now. That 2-run home run makes it a 4-run lead. Forget about a save situation. Take the extra runs. And that's adding on with a home run, not a manufacturer, just going after with a home run.
So Laurie now 4 home runs and 20 RBIs on the year. Hit hard, and it's just foul. Oh, not foul by much.
Last night, Billy Burns' home run was a line drive down the left field line just in the corner. But you look at the 2 home runs hit by Brett Laurie. This is nighttime baseball, and we know what happens to the Coliseum at nighttime. The ball just does not carry, and that's how muscular he is to be able to hit the ball onto the steps in back-to-back games. Time perhaps missed location on the pitches, and
Theckley just got a piece of it.
Last night was a 2-strike from. That was actually 1-0 from CC Sabathia. This is a 2-strike.
That one's hit well to center. Young racing back, and it's over Young's head. Bounces off the center field fence. Phegley has a 3-hit game. A booming double to straightaway center field for Josh Phegley.
And Stephen Vogt, the lefty, and he has had a phenomenal season. He has said the thing about Phegley, he can crush left-handed pitchers, and he just proved it again with that shot. 2-strike, protecting and over the head of Chris Young, center field, who can play some center. Just ran out of room as the ball one-hopped the fence.
So a 1-out double. Here's Canna. Canna is 0 for 3. Roll foul.
For Kennedy, 3 at-bats, fly ball, fly ball, fly ball. So a couple of fly balls to left field and then 1 to center. He has that very upright stance and kind of lifts a little bit, and lifting to the point of hitting the ball in the air. Still a little bit under the weather, not feeling 100% as it continues to spread throughout the clubhouse.
And that one was belted deep, but well fouled on left field. So 0-2 to Canna. 2 runs in here for the A's on the Laurie home run. The runner at second. In the dirt. This is turning into a tough inning for the rookie Lindgren. He's thrown 25 pitches and he only has 1 out. It's a final now in Seattle. The Mariners beat the Indians 2-1. So Walker got the win, Bauer got the loss. Seth Smith with a 2-run homer. That's all the Mariners needed. A little pop-up behind third. Headley gets back there and he makes the catch. So 2 outs, and now to be back to the top of the order is Billy Burns. David Carpenter starting to get loose in case this inning rolls on any further. So the Mariners even up that series at a game apiece. They've got a good outing from their youngster, Warren Walker. First pitch to Billy Burns is a slider that stays high. The Angels are leading the Tigers still. It's 2-0 in the 8th inning in Anaheim. Pitch is low. So now 2-0 to Burns, who was 1 for 4. He got that 3rd inning started with a double. He's also hit a fly ball to right, struck out a couple of times. 2-0 pitch is outside, and now it's 3-0. They have 9 hits in the game now. Go with their 6 runs. And that one, your first strike. Burns obviously take it all the way with the count 3-0. That's Perino, who wouldn't mind getting a chance to hit in this game. Bounce to the right side, diving play by Drew, and he has trouble getting it out of his glove, and Burns beats it. So a nice play by Drew, but he had just a little bit of trouble getting it out. And if you give Billy Burns any time, he's going to beat it out. And so Burns gets credited with a hit.
Well, great hustle and very nice play. But, boy, you're right. Down on the knee. And once he could not get the ball out of his glove at that point, Billy Burns was going to beat it out. You know, they're lucky because the runner Fegley, that's a play that the runner from second can continue to run around third and score with a throw going to first base. But Fegley, of course, bothered by some lower extremity. But this is going to be a base hit. Nice effort, Drew, right there, though. Bobble the ball.
So Burns 2 for 5. Lindgren's going to stay in the game to face Perino. So Perino will get a chance to hit. Perino came in for defense. Top of the 8th. Slider in for a strike. Simeon, while he was in there, was 1 for 4. Rolled foul, another breaking ball. Rodriguez now warming up for the A's. So Clifford has sat down. And Rodriguez looks like he'll be the guy pitching the top of the 9th. Perino goes around, ball trickles away from McCann. The out is recorded at first. Side retired, but a big 2 runs for the A's thanks to Brett Lawrie. It's home run number 4, so 6-2 A's lead.
California is brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Xfinity, home of the most live sports.
So the A's with a 6-2 lead, trying to make it 2 in a row over the Yankees. And when it's time for change, think Speedy Oil Change at Auto Service, your oil change, tune-up, and brake experts. So it's Fernando Rodriguez coming in for his 11th appearance of the year. So he'll face Rodriguez, McCann, and Beltran. So Rodriguez tried to get the final 3 outs and get Sonny Gray his 6th win of the year. Sam Fuld comes in the game. So Fuld will take over for Canna in left field. So Alex Rodriguez steps up. He's had a quiet night. He's grounded out 3 times. One of those ground outs resulted in a double play. Well, the first pitch is well off the plate outside. So Rodriguez 0 for 3 tonight. Swing and a miss. Good fastball. Fernando Rodriguez to Alex Rodriguez. 1 for 6 in the series. And there's a line drive just past Zobrist into center field. Rodriguez gets his first hit. A soft line drive, maybe even a broken bat line drive.
Off the end of the bat, exactly.
But a hit nonetheless. Hit number 5 for the Yankees.
Number 34.
And Clifford is continuing to warm up, and he was loose actually before Brett Lawrie hit the 2-run home run, made it a 4-run lead. So he continues to loosen, but opted to go to Fernando Rodriguez to start the inning.
So here's McCann. McCann is 1 for 3 with a solo home run in the 5th inning. First pitch is a good one on the outside corner for strike. McCann's home run in the 5th, his 8th of the year. Good curve, and it's in for a strike. So a well-played game last night by the Athletics, really all around. And so far tonight, the same thing.
Yeah, that's exactly right, and especially getting the big hits at the right time or the good time and adding on, which is always very, very good.
McCann with a weak swing, and he strikes out. 1 out here in the 9th.
Fernando Rodriguez with an outstanding fastball, but he also has big old Uncle Charlie, a hard one, right over the top as he throws with his fastball, and then
Number
pulls
36,
a string.
Carlos
That you don't
Beltran.
see often, especially as hot as McCann has been, to swing at those pitches that badly in the dirt.
So with 1 out, Beltran will hit. Beltran had a line drive base hit in the 7th inning. Before that, a couple of ground outs. And that one a strike down around the knees again. Sonny Gray went 8 innings tonight, just 4 hits and 2 runs. Lawrie has it, and he juggles a little bit. Finally gets it to Perino to get the force out at second base. Lawrie ranging far to his left with the shift on. I was thinking he may take it
I was going to
himself.
say, how about that double play? 5-3 with a shift, and came up on him though, able to stay with it to get the 1 out. Perino waiting, catches, and Alex Rodriguez a little slow getting in the bag. But think about Brett Lawrie tonight, even at times with Rodriguez when he bobbled the ball. I'm surprised Alex didn't go into a slide in that, because if Perino gets it, that's going to be an easy double play.
So here's Garrett Jones, final hope for the Yankees. His first pitch that he sees is high. He's post-game live coming up right for our ball game. Missed again, and now the count is 2-0.
That might have been the right foot of Mike Estabrook that time, because it looked like it got past Fagley, but the right foot, something stopped it. as it was headed to the backstop. Saved wild pitch. Like those feet to stop those. Shin guards for feet, something.
So 2-0 to Garrett Jones. Swing and a miss. High fastball.
I think Finley's happy that this one avoided the glove and his foot. As Mike Estabrook got it on the lower part of the foot, keep it in front. Or the wild pitch.
So 2-1 to Garrett Jones. High foul over to our left. So the crowd tonight up on its feet, trying to help the A's get this final out. 2-2 pitch outside with a big overhand curve from Rodriguez. So now full count, 2 outs. First is Beltran. So he goes, and the ball's bounced. Zobrist can't get it, and it's into center field. Really just a high bouncing ball, but it just got through. So Jones keeps the game going. It's first and third, 2 outs, and Bob Melvin's coming out. And he wants his closer. Fernando Rodriguez cannot quite get that final out, so Clippard coming in. We'll be back. 6-2 A's lead.
On section 120, items include game used or signed baseballs, jerseys, bats, bases, and more. You can also shop online at athletics.com/game used. Portions of the proceeds benefit the Oakland A's Community Fund. Well, it's one thing really a manager doesn't want. He's got his closer warming up just in case it becomes a save situation with the tying run in the on-deck circle. There are 2 outs, and Tyler Clippard, who saved the game last night, interesting as it was, is trying to pick up another save tonight, and it would be a 1-out save. He's 5 for 6 in save opportunities. He had a very good fastball and changeup last night. It was a long fly to center to end it. After Brett Gardner had doubled to make it a 1-run game, and that man in the on-deck circle is not someone that you want to see in this game.
We don't see it.
Other than in the on-deck circle for the New York Yankees. He is a powerful mark to show.
First it's Stephen Drew. The first pitch changeup floats in for a strike to Drew, who's 0 for 3. Stephen Drew is 0 for his last 18. Beltran at third, Jones at first. Way inside to Stephen Drew. The final in Anaheim, the Angels shut out the Tigers 2-0. Both the Angels and the Mariners win, the Rangers win, the Astros lose. 1-1 pitch is popped up. This should do it. It's right near Clippard. Vogt comes down the line, and Vogt squeezes it, and that's the ball game. So the A's take game 2 of the series, and they do it in nice, clean fashion by a final score of 6-2. Game took 2 hours and 49 minutes. And it was played in front of 23,540. And I think the word that, Ray, we're both going to use is clean. It was a nice, clean game. Good defense. A's made some nice plays. Again, some big hits. Another big home run. And all in all, just a nice, solid performance for the second night in a row, beating a team, the Yankees, at first place in the AL East. So I think that's what I'm most pleased about, is the score. You can look at all the different things, but just much better, tighter, cleaner baseball. And if you do that, things will start to slowly turn, and we've seen that the last 2 nights.
And it usually starts with the pitcher on the mound. The A's, of course, in this series will have Jesse Hunt tomorrow, but tonight Sonny Gray is Sonny Gray, and every time he takes the mound, you're just disappointed if the A's don't win. They don't play a good game, and tonight he struggled. First batter of the game, he walked. After that, settled down, and that was it, especially with the A's scoring the 4 runs to give him the run support, and he took it from there. But, you know, when you could put up a 0 on the error column, you could do all those good things and win a ball game. Forget about all those things that have been happening in the past and think about some good things right now.
Yeah, but you're right. It does start with Sonny Gray, and plenty of guys deserve credit tonight. Fegley behind the plate. He also had 3 hits, and Laurie with the home run. So now you're starting to see some contributions up and down the lineup as well, so that's a good sign.
And also the great defensive play by Laurie at third base. And you're seeing some things happening defensively really contribute to a ball club to have success. And what Stephen Vogt did at first base, he's been behind the plate, picking it at first base, and that's what a good first baseman will do. He'll save errors. The guys across the diamond, whenever they make the plays at first base, they throw them, he makes the plays, and all of a sudden, instead of an E, it's an out. And our man joins us because of that.
All right, Stephen Vogt is downstairs, the first baseman. So you look good at first. I mean, you haven't played there a lot this year. You've been doing most of the catching, but tell us about the transition to first base. I know you played it a lot last year, but you look pretty good over there.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you telling me I look good. That makes me feel very good about myself. No, but I've been working with Gags a lot early. He's been hitting me a lot of ground balls, working on some picks, and fortunately I've been able to get some plays at first, and fortunately I've been able to make them so far.
And you know, you've made the plays. We're just talking about it, and perhaps you heard us, because you know, as a catcher, when you're backing up, you see those low throws from across the diamond, and you have to back up sometimes to get them. What is the key for you, playing first base as limited as you do, to be able to scoop the ball the way you do?
Well, for me, what the main thing I try and do is I try to sit back and act like a catcher. I try not to stride out. I try not to make it look pretty, because there's really not much about me that's pretty. So at the end of the day, all I care about is that the ball ends up in my glove. And so for me, I try to stay low and think about it as if it's a fastball coming in, and if it's in the dirt, I'll scoop it.
Now, you certainly did that tonight. A very nice job. Let's get to the offensive part of your game. And in that third inning, you guys are knocking Capuano a little bit. And you had the big hit kind of at the end of the rally. As you see that inning going on and you see him struggling and you see your turn coming up, what are you kind of thinking about as your game plan going into that at-bat in that inning?
Well, right there, I'm up second and third, nobody out. So my job is to hit a ball to the right side on the ground, move the runners over to move them in, move them over kind of thing. Get the runner to third with 1 out and get 1 run in. And so for me, the lefties have been throwing me in lately. Everybody's been throwing me in those situations. And so kind of set my eyes in and hoping he would make a mistake a little bit on the plate, and fortunately he did, and I was able to keep it fair.
Now, those are great hits. You drive in runs when you pull the ball, but I like when they shift and you kind of poke the ball to left field. That's a couple of hits in this series. I mean, when you see that, I mean, you're going to hit the ball where it's pitched, but how much can you see that and what they're trying to do, but yet, as a catcher yourself, determine what they're going to do to try to get you out based on how they're positioning defensively?
Yeah, I mean, they're going to try to get me to roll over. They're going to try and jam me and get me to roll over, and so I know for the most part anything away is going to be soft. And you know, in that at bat where I got the nice little ground ball base hit to third base, basically, he's going away with the slider, and I kind of just went with it, make sure I stay on top of it so I don't pop it up. And fortunately, I was able to get it away from Headley enough to get on.
Now, Steven, we're all friends here, right? So we need an honest answer from you, okay?
Okay.
Now, Laurie hits the home run in the bottom of the 8th, and he comes in the dugout, and he's saying things that we're curious what they are. And as long as we can say them on TV, what is he possibly saying, and who is he saying these things to?
Brett Laurie is a beauty. Let's put it that way. He was so fired up, as we all were, but when he gets fired up, you can't even understand him. He speaks so fast, and you know, something about being the cheese and being the man, and you know, that's Brett. We love him, and we love his intensity. He's the same guy every day, no matter what, and he's had a couple of huge homers for us the last 2 days.
And then finally, your great bobblehead yesterday, and you know, people raving about the bobblehead, but also about you signing, doing all the things. How special was it to have a bobblehead, especially the type of bobblehead you had?
It was fun. I mean, it kind of encompassed my personality in it. So right. It was pretty neat, pretty special for me and for my family. And, you know, it was great to see all the fans come out on a Thursday night. And I wish I could have signed every single bobblehead, but obviously that's pretty impossible. But it's pretty special.
Yeah. So bobblehead yesterday, Matt Foley, motivational speaker today. It's a big 2 days for you.
It's been a huge 2 days.
Steven, thanks for joining us.
All right, guys, have a good night.
All right, always fun to talk to Steven Vogt, and he really does a nice job at first base, and we talk about it a lot. He got stuck out in right field at Yankee Stadium last year, and he really hadn't played any outfield. And he was an above-average outfielder last year, and I think he's an above-average first baseman as well.
And, you know, I think the good thing, too, at the beginning when he played first against the Tigers, David Price, Skipper wanted to put him in the outfield, and Stephen Foe said, wait a minute, you know, why don't you have somebody out there can move around a little bit better? So he knows his limitation. He's still bothered by the foot a little bit. He can still catch, but playing first base, he doesn't have as far to run, and he can handle the first base position, as he did tonight, scooping those low throws. So great job by Stephen Vogt. He'll be behind the plate probably tomorrow night and Sunday, but he can play and hit no matter where he is.
And the A's, maybe things are starting to turn just a little bit. 2 very good ball games, and tonight behind Sonny Gray, the A's win it over the New York Yankees by a final score of 6-2, and Gray was the winning pitcher, and Sonny Gray gets his 6th win of the year. So again, final score 6-2, A's over the Yankees. Now when we come back, it'll be the guys in the studio, Postgame Live with Brody Brazil and Pip Roberts. So stick around for that. 6-2 is your final, A's over the Yankees.